Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Peter Xu, and I'm from China. Today, I wish to discuss one of the most critical challenges we face, desertification and its far-reaching consequences on our lives and our planet. As a young Chinese entrepreneur, my passion for understanding that of understanding the impact of climate change was ignited by the Chinese artist Hua Chunyu, who I admire. His songs often explore the theme of environmental protection, highlighting the need for harmony between humanity and nature world. My hometown is Chifeng City in Mongolia, a region renowned for its stunning grassland and vast desert. I have witnessed the first-hand delicate balance between nature and human life, and how it has been put into jeopardy by climate change. In 2016, before I traveled to the United States for my studies, I flew over Chifeng and was struck by the sight below. An increasingly large portion of the land was covered by desert. It was struck reminder that the desertification poses to a region like mine. However, in recent years, when I've returned home, I have noticed a remarkable change. The once barren land had turned green. Notably, we have seen a significant decrease in sandstorms, a clear indication that our efforts to improve land management and combat desertification are bearing fruit. This transformation is not due to seasonal changes, but rather the effort of Chifeng's tremendous efforts and successes. Chifeng City has proposed a strategy with controlling sand with a road, which means wherever roads are built, grass growth are established, and the trees are planted. The area of sandy land has decreased from an initial 5.62 million hectares, which accounted for 64% of the city's total area, to currently less than 1.8 million hectares. As climate change accelerates, the desertification process intensifies, destroying ecosystems, reducing arable land, and making food production increasingly difficult. It also directly impacts rural communities by forcing families to leave families and migrate to city. This mass migration places enormous pressure on urban area, stretching infrastructure and resources beyond their limit. As more people leave rural areas for cities, carbon emission rise, further contributing to climate change. It is a vicious cycle that exacerbates poverty and inequality, leaving the most vulnerable population at the greatest risk. Despite the severity of the situation, we are not without hope or solutions. In Mongolia, and particularly Chifeng, has shown us that it is possible to fight back against desertification. Large-scale reforestation projects, soil conservation measures, and the promotion of eco-friendly agricultural practices have been key in transforming degraded land into fertile, productive areas. These efforts not only restore the land's natural beauty and biodiversity, but also improve the quality of life for local communities by creating sustainable livelihoods. As a citizen of Chifeng City in Mongolia, and as a global citizen, I call on cities worldwide facing severe desertification to take inspiration from Chifeng's achievement. By enhancing soil carbon storage capacity through reforestation and sustainable land management, we can suggest nations to develop and implement adaptation plans to reduce the impact of climate change on ecosystem and livelihoods. The fight against desertification requires global collaboration, as seen in initiatives like United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, which foster partnership among countries to share knowledge and resources in addressing this pressing issue. We, the younger generation, had the unique opportunity and the responsibility to lead this fight. It is our future that is at stake, and our action today will determine the kind of world we'll live for the future generation. Let us come together to protect our planet, take action, and work toward a greener, more sustainable world. Thank you.
Dear guests and young friends, hello everyone. My name is Sherry Song. I am a 17-year-old high school student from China. Today, I am here to speak with you about a topic related to biomedical science and climate change, the spread of dengue fever. This year, I chose to major in biomedical science and had the privilege of visiting a specimen room at a medical university. And during the visit, a fully red body caught my attention. Later, I learned that the donated body was that of a dengue fever patient. That evening, I shared my visit experience and insights with a visiting teacher from Brazil. He told me that dengue fever is currently very prevalent in Brazil, and that in 2024, there has been a significant increase in suspected and confirmed cases of dengue fever there. In just 1 year, the number of confirmed cases has increased fourfold. In my investigation and research on this disease, I found that climate change is an important factor affecting its spread. With global climate change, the temperature and humidity in some areas have become more suitable for mosquito breeding. This leads to an increase in the number of mosquitoes, which in turn increases the risk of dengue fever transmission. In April 2022, a study published in the journal Nature showed that by 2070, climate change will cause thousands of new viruses to spread between different species, potentially increasing the risk of new infectious diseases spreading from animals to humans. These mutations may enhance the pathogenicity of dengue virus, thereby increasing the severity and mortality rate of the disease. I believe the following are ways in which we can address the risks of climate change while attempting to prevent increasing dengue fever outbreaks. Countries near the equator should strengthen mosquito disinfection and sterilization. Governments can establish mosquito factories. The Brazilian Ministry of Health has established mosquito factories in Rio de Janeiro and other places to specifically cultivate mosquitoes carrying Wolbachia bacteria, which blocks the dengue virus. These mosquitoes will not be infected after biting dengue fever patients, and can quickly spread Wolbachia through genetics in mosquito populations, thereby reducing the number of mosquitoes carrying the dengue virus. Governments can spray pesticides in mosquito breeding areas, such as ditches and garbage disposal stations, and use drones for aerial spraying in streets with high pedestrian traffic. People can actively prevent mosquito bites, clean up accumulated water, use mosquito nets, wear long-sleeved clothing, etc. to reduce the chance of being bitten by mosquitoes. Teenagers must continue to pay attention to climate change in the future, participate in international exchange activities, and learn about the experiences and practices of other countries in addressing climate change. As a younger generation, we have the responsibility, ability, and passion to contribute to combating the harmful effects of climate change, like the rise of dengue fever. Let us start from our professional field and daily life, with a scientific attitude and firm confidence, to meet every challenge and contribute to building a beautiful home on Earth. During next year's United Nations Climate Change Conference held in Brazil, we will be able to see our collective one-year achievement in improving climate change throughout the country. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed delegates of the United Nations and fellow citizens in the world, My name's Han Yang. As diplomat and the General Consulate, I urge the people who are around us to focus on the climate change. Climate change is an unprecedented global challenge that necessitates comprehensive action from both individuals and governments. Well, some argue that individual actions alone are sufficient to combat climate change. I firmly believe that the effective solutions demand a coordinated effort involving the government, innovation, and international cooperation. Proponents of individual responsibility argue that the personal choices can collectively contribute to the significant reductions in the greenhouse gas emissions. For instance, lifestyle changes such as reducing the energy consumption, embracing renewable energy sources, and adopting the eco-friendly transportation. Options can have a positive impact. Moreover, consumers' choices in supporting sustainable products and companies can drive the market. The forces in supporting sustainable and products and companies, so environmentally friendly practices. The increases in the actions reflect a growing awareness of climate change. And is the consequence, suggesting that the individual can indeed play a pivotal role. However, the argument that individual actions alone can solve the climate crisis falls short of addressing the issue's complexity. Climate change is a global issue with far-reaching consequences, and addressing it necessitates large-scale intervention that only the governments can implement effectively. Governments have the capacity to enact to enforce the policies that regulate emissions, promote clean energy technologies, and invest in the climate resilient infrastructure. Furthermore, international cooperation is essential to set global emissions reduction targets, and the starts then to all the nations must adhere to the Paris Agreement. For example, exemplifies to the power of the international collaboration aimed at addressing climate change. In addition to policy measures, governments can also allocate the resources for the research and the development, climate, the friendly technologies, incentivize sustainable practice through the tax breaks or the subsidies, and promote the public awareness campaigns. These interventions create an enabling environment in which the individual efforts are more effective and impactful. In conclusion, the fight against climate change is a shared responsibility that requires both individual actions and government interventions. That require both the interventions while the individuals can contribute to the reducing emissions through their choices and behaviors. Governments must take the lead in implementing the policies and the regulations, international agreements that drive the systemic change. Only through this combined effort can we hope to combat climate change effectively and safeguard the planet for the future generation. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, honored delegates, my name is Shu Yaolu from Xi'an, China, one of the many young people working hard for climate issues. It is my great honor to speak here, addressing you all as a youth representative fighting for climate action. The climate change is an issue that radiates across the globe. The building construction industry, as the main source of global carbon emissions, accounts for 37% of total emissions. This data points us towards the necessary path of developing sustainable building resources. As an architecture student, I deeply understand that the role of architect in the modern society is not only to create innovative spatial design, but also to bear social and environmental responsibilities. Therefore, I choose to look at our common goal, the climate change from the perspective of urban planning. The green urban planning has the potential to build climate-resilient cities by optimizing land use, constructing green facilities, improving energy efficiency, helping to reduce the impact of cities on climate change. As a teenager, I have visited different regions to investigate the sustainable construction method of green buildings. In Guizhou, southwest China, I learned that the ethnic minority Dong people use local timber as raw material with clever mortise and tenon structure to build houses to adapt to local humid and rainy climates. Using wood as building material can absorb carbons in the atmosphere, thereby achieving negative carbon buildings. I collaborated with residents to renovate old buildings and build the first shared library in the village for children. In Kenya, East Africa, I work with local people to recycle local waste and soil to design and build green buildings, taka houses. Just like around the Earth, the good thermal performance and ecological stability of this material can effectively isolate the extreme temperature outdoors and absorb and release moisture to maintain the stability of indoor temperature, thereby reducing the energy consumption of air conditioning and heating equipment. By using this material property, we built a low-energy house for local women's shelter in the field. Because climate is a global issue, individual and collective participation is equally important to work towards climate-conscious urban planning. The good news is that since the Paris Agreement, more and more countries have been developed sustainable cities and resilient buildings. In recent years, the annual area of newly built green buildings in China has increased from 30% to 75%. However, this is far from enough. The world is at a crossroad. While our lives may be limited, the impact we can create is limitless. And the future of our planet depends on our action today. I'm here to use my limited experience to prove that you and I have the ability to participate in the action of changing climate change. As social individuals, global citizens, and climate change advocates. To work for a better future, let us live local, think global, and act responsible. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's welcome next panel.
Greetings, everyone. I am Hui Xin, a 10-year-old primary school student from Tianjin, China. I'm incredibly proud and excited to be here at the UN COP29, where I get to share my thoughts on protecting our environment. Today, the topic I want to talk about is both simple and significant. Ditch the plastic straw, save our blue planet. Dear friends, did you know that each year, more than 10 million tons of plastic waste end up in our oceans? That's like dumping a garbage truck of plastic into the sea every single minute. Among these plastic wastes, billions of straws, used just once, then tossed, account for a shocking amount of the pollution. These straws might only be in our hands for a few minutes, but they linger in the ocean for over 200 years, continuing to pollute long after we moved on. Beyond just numbers, plastic pollution impacts real marine life daily. Imagine the vast blue ocean, home to incredible creatures, including a little sea turtle named Turbo. Turbo glides through coral reefs, spending his days searching for food. Transparent and delicate, jellyfish are his preferred treat. One day, a seemingly harmless jellyfish-like object caught Turbo's eyes. But it wasn't his usual snack. It was a discarded plastic straw. Mistaking it for food, Turbo swallowed it. Instantly, Turbo was in pain. The straw won't digest. It's lodged inside him, causing constant agony, and Turbo's once bright eyes began to fade. Turbo's story is far from unique. According to WWF, it's estimated that 100,000 marine animals die each year from plastic debris like this, victims of our disposable habits. For every little turbo out there, hundreds of others suffer similar fates. Plastic straws, lurking like hidden predators, are tearing at every fabric of our ocean's delicate ecosystem. But the damage doesn't end there. These straws break down into microplastics, tiny pieces invisible to the eye, but everywhere in the ocean. Microplastics contaminate the water and invade the food chain. They accumulate in fish, plankton, and even in the salt we eat. Researchers have found that the average person consumes around 5 grams of plastic each week. That's equivalent to eating a credit card every week. Imagine, in our bodies, these invisible killers are causing harm we don't even fully understand yet. And this is only the beginning. As humans, we are the stewards of this planet. But rather than protectors, we have become destroyers, burdening our Earth in pursuit of convenience. Today, every ocean, every river, every forest is crying out, begging us to stop and to repair the damage we've caused. But there's hope. Simple changes can prevent such harm. We can opt for alternatives to plastic straws, like those made from Laperonia grass, pasta, bamboo, stainless steel, or glass. These options are either biodegradable or reusable and eco-friendly. But here's a thought to ponder. Do we truly need straws to enjoy our beverages? The truth is, we don't. Sipping without a straw isn't just possible. It's a small act of kindness to our planet. In my school, we took action. We designed posters, held discussions, and even organized speeches to raise awareness about plastic reduction. We talk about environmental choices, big and small, that each of us could make a difference to help our planet. And now, I call upon every one of you. Let's start small. Let's say no to plastic straws and yes to a healthier planet. Refuse the straw, choose sustainable options. And remember, every little choice matters. Imagine a world where our oceans are free of plastic waste, where every little turbo can swim safely. Imagine a world where we're no longer worried about the plastic in our bodies. This vision can become reality, but only if we act together. Thank you all for listening. Let's protect our ocean, our planet, and our future. Every small step we take will build into a powerful movement to save our blue planet. Let's do it for Turbo and for all of us.
Dear audience, my name is Liu Hanwen. I'm from Guangdong, China. It is my great honor to speak today to talk about taking action on climate change. In my opinion, this is an important issue that requires regional and national level investments and call for cooperation globally. Only when countries can act together, then we make a profound difference in climate change. Climate change has become a global issue that almost affects every people from every corner of the world. Many people, including myself, are experiencing changing weather patterns, rising sea levels, and more extreme weather events. In order to combat the warming of the planet, every country, especially the larger emitters of greenhouse gas emissions, need to act together. Although the challenges we face in Immorals, I'm glad to see the efforts from many countries in taking climate action via technology innovations, economic investments, and policy making. China, as the largest emitter of carbon dioxide gas in the world, has taken numerous steps to address this problem. First, China has adjusted its industrial structure to low-carbon industries. Secondly, China greatly promotes energy conservation and efficiency improvement to reduce energy consumptions in manufacturing industries. Thirdly, China has enhanced the carbon sink capacity of ecosystems such as forests, wetlands, and grasslands. Fourthly, China collects and utilizes the coal mine gas methane to control the non-CO2 greenhouse gases emissions. The United States, as the second largest contributor to carbon dioxide emissions in the world, also implements active strategies to meet its state climate goal, achieving a net zero emissions economy by 2015. In addition, there are ongoing efforts in evaluating the economic and environmental impacts of climate policies at federal, state, and local level. The European Union is also a big contributor. That said, the EU has steadily decreased its greenhouse gas emissions since 1990s, and in 2023, the number of measures taken by member states aimed at climate migrations was 19% higher than its previous reporting cycle. As each individual regions and nations make steady progress in taking action of climate change, international collaborations are also flourish and must continue to expand in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Each nations are able to learn from each other's success stories and shortcomings in order to improve their own climate action plan. When different countries work closely together, they create the greatest potential to make a broader, more effective global impact. We all know that our fight against climate change is urgent and challenging, but seeing the world will come together and make a strong effort to tackle climate change gives us hope. With contribution for every country, I believe we can make great progress in our changing climate. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Harry, and I'm from China. Hello everyone, my name is Harry and I'm from China. I'm really excited to be here today to share my thoughts on quality education and how we can make it better for everyone. To me, quality education means that every kid gets the same chance to learn and grow. I want to go to school where I can learn new things and also spend time on the stuff I love. It's super important for us to think creatively and solve problems, not just memorize answers for tests. I believe that education should be fair and available to all kids, no matter where they come from or how much money their families have. It's not right that only some kids get to have a great education. If we want to make the world a better place, everyone should have the chance to learn. Quality education helps us become lifelong learners. Learning isn't just about school. It's about being curious and growing throughout our lives. As Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is...
No, sorry. No time. Sorry. You ran out of time. Talk to your manager. Can I just take this? Okay, sorry. I'm really sorry, but we've run out of time. You see, look there? The clock there, you're over 30 seconds. Sorry.